Okay, guys, I think we finally got on the same page to try to figure out how to do this. I know that we currently just have the one viewer in here, but we're hoping that everybody will come in a little bit later. And that's my son doing his laundry, walking through the living room. Um, but so I kind of wanted to do things a little differently than most of these other people do. I tend to feel like everybody kind of does the same questions all the time. What's your favorite equipment? Where do you want to go? What's your favorite? How'd you get started, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't. While that stuff is fascinating, it's always being asked. It's nothing new necessarily. So what I am going to do with this particular podcast doesn't mean we won't ever do that. I'm just going to say that. But what I plan to do with this is to get to know the actual members of the group, find out who they are, find out their likes, their dislikes, or whatever. Get to know them on a more personal level because I think sometimes um, I just got a message that says waiting for me to go live. Hey, Wyatt, would you do me a favor and get on YouTube, please, and see if I'm live?
You're live.
I am live.
All right, hold on a minute. Yeah, I've got you on my phone.
What Ruben
Hold
says.
on, hold on a minute. Don't say nothing.
Waiting for me to go live.
So I'm lagging on my phone.
Hey, Wyatt, would you do me a favor and get on YouTube, please, and see if I'm live?
Can you hear it?
Ruben said yay, so I guess we're live now.
Yeah, you are live. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess it just needs to catch up. Yeah, Ruben just texted me. It's live now.
Okay, good.
Um. So anyway, so the whole purpose of us doing this was, well, like I said on the test run, I obviously did not give everybody a time. I wasn't thinking about that. I was just really surprised I was successful at getting a live even started and done. So, I plan on Mondays at 6 p.m. Doing this regular uh, broadcast like we're doing tonight. And then on Thursdays, as long as our team member Steven is available, we will be doing some educational ones. Steven is kind of our like researcher guy in the group. He is naturally just always learning, always wondering, and is extremely intelligent in the world of religion, um, in the world of cryptids, you name it. That's that has anything to do with this world that we are in. Um, he will figure it out if he doesn't know. Just put it to you that way. He is very much a learner. And as I was saying earlier, I decided to take a different approach with this particular broadcast. You're all good. You're live. Thank you, Bob. Um, with this particular broadcast is because sometimes it seems that there's a lot of fighting going on in the paranormal world and stuff. And I think there's also a lack of um, understanding between the two people and that sort of thing. I feel like if we get to know each other on a more personal level, then things will be a lot better because I think we'll start having each other's backs. I think that we will start seeing each other on a more human level rather than a group opposing another group or, I don't agree with your methods and all this other stuff that just is craziness because we're all out to do the same thing. We're all out to see if there is something outside of this life. And so that's my goal at this point. Um, I do want to try to get to know people on a more personal basis. So, um, our first guest tonight is, of course, our group leader, Vicky. Because if it wasn't for her, this group wouldn't even be in existence anyway. Um, so, Vicky, if you're okay with it, I'm going to tell a little bit about myself, and then we're going to go over to
That's
you.
fine.
And then,
I'm still trying to get us shared out and making sure that it's going through. So we're good.
okay. All right. So, a little bit about myself. Since this is the first one, I figured everybody should get to know me because I'll be asking you all the questions if you decide to come on the show. I am 42. I live in Missouri, and Not that it matters to some, but that might matter to others. I am a Sagittarius. So, I am married to the same man for 20 years. We just celebrated our 20-year anniversary in December. Ruben, as you all probably know him, he is our tech guy. Poor guy got kind of drug into this group unwillingly because I wanted to do this, and because he has this knowledge for technology and stuff like that, he kind of had to come along for the ride or get left behind, and so he decided to come along for the ride. I think he regrets it sometimes, but I think that he is very good at what he does, and he has a lot of patience for us non knowers of what to do. I don't know what else to call us. We're like, Ruben, can you do this? Ruben, do that. Oh my gosh, Ruben, what's going to happen? Oh, like we're starting late tonight simply because my
Yeah.
entire computer, I don't know what happened. I couldn't get it to work. It did just fine on the test run. I'm on Ruben's computer now. Um, but anyways, so I have two children. They are adults, both of them. And I have two. Hey, um, I have two grandbabies that I mean, those, you hear people talk all the time. It's, when you have grandkids, you'll understand or whatever. I'm just saying they weren't wrong. My two grandbabies, I will burn this world down for, and they are just my entire everything. Um, I Windows happened. Yeah, updates in Windows happened. Um, So, anyways, I got into this because, like many others, I'm sure, way back in the day, Taps came out with Ghost Hunters, and it was on TV. And at the time, it was sci-fi. And I have always had kind of a fascination for, dark things. I kind of always wondered if ghosts were real. As many of you probably already know from other interviews that I've done with other people, I myself am an atheist. I do not believe in the paranormal necessarily, so I'm out to prove whether or not it exists. Um, I would like to know if there's anything on the other side. I want to know if there's anything that we should be looking forward to or whatever. Um, sorry, I just realized I don't have my Facebook open for anybody who might be on there. Give me just a second. So anyways, um, yeah, I don't know what else to say about me. Um, other than that, I do I do have a bachelor's degree, and I work in social services for the developmentally disabled. Um, and that is not necessarily my passion. Psychology is my passion, but um, I the human mind and the human behaviors have always fascinated me. So, anyways, that's just a little bit about me. So, if you do have any questions, you can feel free to put them into chat. Um, and then I will be happy to answer anything. And I'm literally an open book. I don't hide anything. So just go ahead and ask away. But for the meantime, we're going to go ahead and bring on Vicky. Okay. So, Vicky, tell the
Live.
world about you.
Oh, well,
Try,
it's
even though I went into it, try to avoid the paranormal. Just let them know who you are.
who
I don't
I
know why I did that.
am. Who I am? Okay, well, I'm a person that a large part of me is paranormal, but it's always been that way. When I'm not, well, I can't say that I'm never not in paranormal. You know how it goes with me, Liz. Stuff happens all the time. Hey, Wyatt.
He can't hear you though.
Oh, okay. Uh, anyway, no, I'm 64 years old. I'm a grandmother. I'm a great grandmother. Um, I don't know what to tell you. I've worn a lot of hats, both literally and career wise, and doing different things and hobbies and different kind of stuff throughout my whole life. Um, Mainly the last, I'm going to say since 2000, I've been taking care of elderly, ones that was terminally ill, and my mom and dad were two of those that I took care of. Um, I didn't work for hospice. I worked alongside hospice. Usually, hospice was there. They were under hospice care, but the family needed other caretakers to come in. So, so that's what I did. And why?
This is one of my children. They are adults, whether they act like it or not.
Everybody better get a good look because I got a feeling he's going to die if he keeps that.
Yeah, he brings liveliness to it.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
my baby. Hey,
But
Andrea.
but the group started in 2006, and my oldest son is co-founder of it. When the group first started, my youngest daughter and her husband was involved in it. Then they ended up having to move to KC. I'm in Missouri, born in Kansas City. Um, Lebanon is where my parents were from. And so I'm sixth generation on my dad's side, living where I live in Lebanon, Missouri. And I don't know, I do a lot of stuff. I make a lot of stuff, I repurpose a lot of stuff. I have as Liz can attest to, I have apothecary, and I make medicines and folk medicines, make soaps, lotions, stuff like that. I haven't done the soaps and lotions in a while, but I do stuff like that. And I'm getting back into dealing with my own food. Everything but getting a cow and chickens. That's the only thing I'm not going to do. But, and Liz knows this stuff too. She can attest to what I'm saying. But yeah, I enjoy it. At one time, I was thinking about starting a podcast, and I thought, no, I've got so much on my plate as it is. I don't need to do it. And so I kind of started encouraging Liz to do it. So here we
Well,
are.
I thought this would be an easier way than trying to do the newsletter that I was trying to do because oh my lord. I mean, coming up with stuff it was just too much. It was too much.
Right,
So
right. Now, you do know homophobia is Brian.
I do, yes, and I saw
Okay.
that. Saw what he
Okay.
said there.
Yeah, he sent
Um,
me a message. I'm watching. So I just wanted you to know that for sure, because I wasn't sure if you knew that, but I thought you
yeah, yeah.
did.
So,
And
okay. So how I met Vicky also was, as she said earlier, her son is the co-founder. That's Jesse of our group. Jesse and I were working together, and I we were there late one night, and I was counting money, and he was walking out the door, and he said something to the effect of he was on his way out to uh, a ghost hunt, and I was at the time, like I said, I was watching. Um, Taps at the time, and I just got this crazy fascination with the whole idea of it, and thought, man, that'd be cool. And then so when he said that, I was just like, um, oh my god, come back and tell me about this or whatever. And that's how I met Vicky. I didn't know who she was before then. Jesse and I were actually friends before I met Vicky. And then Vicky has become like another mom to me. So we all just love her so very much.
oh, yes.
We do. We
You're
really
grounded.
do.
Yeah, you're grounded. No. Yeah, we are family. I've said that all along. We're no longer just a team. We are family. So
Right.
we've been together so long, known each other for so long. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
this is what it is.
Yeah. So, as you guys can probably tell, we don't have much of a um, itinerary, I guess. So, we are looking for different ideas to bring up and talk about. This is the first broadcast ever for our group, so we're just kind of winging this. And like I said, on Thursdays, it'll be a little bit different. We very specifically will have topics that we're going to talk about. So, for instance, this Thursday we're going to be talking about a Winnebago, and we're going to be discussing the mythology around it, the sightings around it, what it means, stuff like that. So, Stephen has really put a lot of information into this, and so we will be talking about that.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
and
also
then,
called a Wendigo.
what did I say? Did I say Winnebago?
Yes, you did. Yeah, in Liv's
We're
language, it's Winnebago.
going to be talking about 80s RVs, everyone. Yes, Wendigo. What the frig? Yes, Andrea, Winnebago. uh,
Oh, goodness.
oh, God.
But it's Wendigo. Wendigo is what we will be doing there. That reminds me the first time Courtney tried to explain when she was still with the group, and Courtney's my youngest daughter, some of the terms. Somebody asked her what EVP was, and I started to answer, and she said, let me. And she said, and I got to get this right. What she put? Paraphernalia.
Oh, paraphernalia.
It was electronic voice paraphernalia. And I busted out laughing, and she looked at me and she, what? And I said, not paraphernalia.
It could be.
But things like that happen. It does. It
It
just like,
could be paraphernalia. Just saying.
yeah, you just don't know what the spirit did in form, life form. Yeah.
Thank you, Brian. And hey, John.
Hey, John.
Um, so anyways, I guess we do have to kind of talk about the paranormal because it's not like we can share much about ourselves. You
Well,
run out of things to say.
I don't know. I'm 64. I can find a lot to talk about.
Go ahead. You're the one who's got the show tonight.
No, this is your show. You got to kick in,
No, I
girl.
know but you're the guest today. So like that's the whole
Ah,
point
yeah,
is you were supposed to be on here to talk about, your life experience, stuff like that. So you're
yeah.
welcome. You should tell
Well,
them about
you
your
talk like
crazy.
Ruben, what I was hearing from you. And of course, I know you guys and stuff. You talk like Ruben really wasn't interested in being in the group. And he wasn't probably in the beginning, but I think he has picked up on curiosity and things, and he's had some experiences, even though he doesn't talk about them a lot. He's had some experiences.
Shaw
Hey,
woman bun.
Dina. Yeah. But
Um, yeah, Ruben's perspective has changed quite a bit since being in the group. I think. I think when did the Winnebago first start? Brian, I just don't know. Maybe
well,
that's
she
something we need
said
to
in the
cover.
80s, so we're going to go with that, okay?
Knowing Steven, he's going to research that.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but anyways, yeah. So his perspective has changed a lot since being in here. So Ruben has been through quite a bit of transitions in his lifetime, as it
Mhm.
is. Ruben had a pretty tumultuous childhood, and I'm sharing his story because I can. 20 years together, I know he don't care if I share this, right? So here's the thing: he had a very bad childhood. Um, he was the youngest of seven children, and he went into the foster system. Okay, and when he finally got out of the foster system, he just kind of, you know, I don't know, I clung to his mother, I would say, kind of thing or whatever. But so he followed very closely in his parents' footsteps. And at the time, his father was very much, well, not even at the time, he still is very, very, very religious. Like, um, he held church in his home, Bible studies like every day. beaten with the Bible, so to speak, and he it was just forced on him a lot, you know. Um, and then something happened, and and the thing is, when I met Ruben, I was already who I was. I was always on the fence about there being a God to begin with in the first place. But I did have tarot cards, and I did have pagan practice items, things like that, because I do believe in energy, and I do believe in what we put out into the universe and that sort of thing. So one day, though, Ruben comes to me and says, I don't think I believe in God. Well, that was just like what the actual F moment, because it scared me. That's not Ruben, you know. And he was the type of guy when I brought in those tarot cards, he told me, he's like, you get those out of my house. Those are the devil, blah, 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 blah. I don't, looking back, I'm like, what the crap was I doing with him? Was not a match made in heaven, you know? and, um, but then once he decided that, religion wasn't for him and that he felt like, having a God be there or whatever wasn't really what he actually thought, that sort of thing or whatever, then yes, Andrea, his father was a fanatic and Ruben was very close behind him, but not quite there. And when that happened, Ruben really opened his mind up more to possibilities. And he started studying things on a more scientific level. He became more of a critical thinker. He didn't follow the masses, so to speak. And when he um, did this, he started finding that there is a sort of a correlation between scientific proof and the paranormal. I mean, we've talked about it kind of before, quantum physics and such. And Ruben could tell you more about that. I don't know enough to even begin to dip my toe into that to say anything. But but that's Ruben. Ruben is always just very smart and always seeking out new information to better himself. And I appreciate it because while he's not the same person that um, I met, he has become more of a compassionate person. When I first met him, he had the most bruised shins because underneath the table I'd be kicking him. You rude ass mother! Shut up! You're rude. Stop talking to people like that. And it was awful. I had to make him more human. But so yes, and then he joined the group. And I think he's had enough experience now with, you know, being in the group that he is definitely not so close-minded anymore. I think it's now
Right, right. He
y-
still questions, and there's some things I still question. Um, but and I learn something new all the time when it comes to paranormal, which is great. I absolutely love that. And if anybody, and I've said this before, so if anybody says they're an expert in the paranormal, they're not. They may have more experience than others, but as far as being an expert, no, there's no experts. And
and
that's
as
just
a
how it is.
human, as a human, if you sit there and say that there is nothing more for you to learn, then you have technically achieved, self-actualization and you should just be dead now. I mean, or what's
Yeah.
the point? If we're not in pursuit of knowledge, then how do
Mhm.
we continue to evolve?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I've got a little problem here. He kept jumping up on my lap and I kept putting him down and finally I just said okay. So I figured maybe if I gave him a little attention he'd knock it off, so we'll see. As long as the other one doesn't see it and kick in, then I'm okay. But
right.
uh no, but I have seen Reuben eyes, like when you discovered that thing on the West Plains video that we can't explain what it is. Um, Ruben, he can't explain it. And he knows, when he saw something in my entryway. He can't explain that, even though I could.
Right.
He couldn't, Um, and I think both of you guys have seen like orb lights or something here. So, but it's a matter of, and when we did the Airbnb this last time, he thought he was touched.
Yes, he did.
We really haven't. had a chance to check all of the video out on that to see if we seen anything or anything, but uh yeah, no. So I know he's starting to, because he told me. I think I was touched, so
Yes.
I think he's starting to realize there's possibilities,
Yes.
and everything you see on TV is definitely not true. And that's
Right.
just how it is. But I think that at first Ruben was thinking it was going to be like that. We was going to fake stuff or
I thought that. I had
something.
no idea,
Yeah, yeah, and
not that we would
if I would have
necessarily.
thought anybody was faking anything or doing anything, and I always check businesses, residents, if they were trying to set something up.
Right.
I just but and I'm glad that you was that way because that means you're really into it, you're passionate, you're interested, you're strongly interested in what you're doing, and you're
Right.
gonna do it the right way. So
And I should clear up though. I didn't think we would come in and fake things necessarily because when I was watching like taps, for instance, my first
mhm,
thought wasn't, "Oh, that's fake." No, my first thought was, "Wait a second, that could have been this, that could have been that." I was very
mhm,
much a debunker, even though I didn't know that was a word at the time,
right.
and so that's was
And
kind of
that's
my
what we
approach.
did though. We would go back and take pictures and try to reestablish and see if we could get at the same thing, and if so, why,
Right,
and what would happen. And that's why I think we do the experiments that we do.
we do.
We
Yes.
try different things and use different pieces of equipment with each other, hoping that they'll coincide, work together, um, things
So
like that. So,
there is something in the talks with our group. We probably could mention. We have not set anything in stone whatsoever. Unfortunately, there are a few of us uh, who we do have, of course, daytime jobs or whatever. Andrea just got a job, so Steven's working, Ruben works, I work, and so putting things in stone for us is really hard in the ways of setting up an investigation, for instance. But
mhm.
Ruben and I, because we are um, so skeptic about the whole thing, Ruben and I had asked Vicky and the group if we could actually set up an absolute um, un. I don't even know what the word I'm looking for. Um,
It's foolproof. We're trying to make it as foolproof as possible that nothing is messing with it and that it's going to be pure paranormal. Any activity that's caught is pure paranormal. Nothing started by us.
right. So
Nothing that we're.
it would be completely hands off.
Mhm,
Because sometimes even us, we've had moments where like you would hear like a floor creak, but because the group is so large, it's hard to. Are you laughing at what I'm saying, or is somebody
I'm
talking to you?
laughing at Ruben. Vicky gave the team a pat down. Really, Ruben?
We have a teddy bear. Oh yes, she did. um, but anyways, this approach that
Yeah.
Ruben and I were wanting to do, because here's the thing: we take atypical approaches. I think most
Mhm,
groups all investigate kind of the same thing. We use the same technology. We all use the same approaches. We all try to debunk for the most part.
mhm,
But this particular investigation was more along the lines of mine and Ruben's idea of the perfect investigation. Absolutely hands off. And it would just be, you know, the equipment running and we all let it just do its thing, so to speak.
the
Now, if we
whole
had our,
time.
now, yes. And now, if we had our way, we'd literally do a Faraday cage around the building, but that's just too much. We can't pull that off. But, um, you know, uh, but for the most part, I think the reason why we want to try this approach is because, as I was saying, we are such a large group. Abyss Paranormal itself is a large group, and when we have multiple people in the home at the same time or the building, wherever we are, you do run into the possibility of contamination. And when that happens, it's so hard for us to decipher. This is literally paranormal. I mean, absolutely. Or
Mhm.
was this Steven crawling in the attic that we didn't know about? Because our Steven is a seeker. I mean, he just wanders off sometimes. We have no idea where he went. So, and it's just because he's so inquisitive. He's always looking for information. He's
Right, and
always
when somebody's doing something, he goes off and sees what he can find. Right.
exactly.
Yep.
So and while we can sit there and say till we're blue in the face, oh no, nobody was there. We absolutely cannot 100% always say that. And I think
Mhm.
that anybody who can say that, with especially with a larger group, would be lying, because
Mhm.
there's no way we can all have eyes on each other 24/7. So this approach would be absolutely a hands-off situation. Occasionally, we may send somebody in to revamp up the energy in the building, possibly because you
Mhm.
know we do believe that you need an
You're
energy
breaking
source.
up, Liz.
Okay, is that any better?
Little maybe.
So
Is it the same
everybody,
way for you guys, or is it just me? Can you guys hear me? I don't know that they can hear me. Can you
we
hear
gotta
me,
give them.
Liz?
Yeah, I can hear you, but we gotta give them a minute because the delay between our stream and
Yes.
YouTube.
And while we're delaying, hey Joe, Joe is Skull that's in
Oh,
chat.
hey, I missed his message.
Now you're kind of louder now,
Okay, I was
but
gonna
you
say
started
because
now. Okay.
if anybody can hear me, I live in the country.
Hmm.
Ruben is in the bedroom watching this stream. I'm broadcasting this stream, and my son is a gamer. So there you go.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
everybody says they can hear fine. It all came through at the same time, though. Um,
Okay.
so, anyways, that's the goal. So we just brought it to the group because we do such atypical. We wanted to try a foolproof atheist version of it, just to see if it makes a difference. Maybe it doesn't, you know,
Hmm.
but we'll never know unless we try.
Right. Right. What you might ought to do is also do things like set the energy ball up, plasma ball up, stuff like that to kind of maybe give them a little assistance, the spirit's
Right.
assistance. But yeah, I agree. I agree. What she is wanting to do, the whole investigation, is something that we do about halfway through every investigation, and that's we leave the premises and just leave the equipment running and the voice recorders, our static cameras, that kind of stuff. Uh, Before I forget, you said earlier we can't be 100%. We can't, but the static cameras does help us find where
True.
everybody is, so we know if somebody is around, and that has helped us debunk
It
some
has.
stuff. If we didn't have those, we could be saying, hey, this is going on, but in fact we were able to debunk that somebody else was in the other room or popped in a door, and so the static cameras came in
But
handy.
like I said, we do
But
only have 5 cameras, and if we were to do a larger area, we can't cover every place. So there
oh
is a
yeah,
chance that we would miss something. That somebody did move.
especially if it's outside,
Mhm.
especially if it's outside. Yep. Yep, I agree on that one. But no, I had, when I was on Crossover Paranormal at Jonathan's show here about a week, well, I'm just last Sunday, I think, or a week ago Sunday. Um, I told him about how halfway through
Mhm.
we do this, and he said, that's a good idea, that he was going to try it and see how it goes. So, you know, I think
I
that's great. If we can help other teams out, and maybe we can pick up on stuff from other teams to help us out, I think
Which
that's
is why I
great.
think it's a good thing that uh, Global Ghost Hunt exists. You know what I mean? It gives us the opportunity to watch
Right.
these other teams and learn from them. I know
Mhm.
there's been a few things that I've literally sat down and took notes, and I'm like, okay, so we need to implement that because it was a good idea, it was a good strategy, and
Mhm.
try to remember
Yep.
to implement that into our investigations ourselves.
Right, right. And we get to see how the other groups
Yep.
investigate. which was part of the reason they wanted to do global
Right.
ghost hunts to
Exactly.
begin with.
Exactly.
So Brian, we're shouting you out, okay? But but no, it's great, and we've already got some plans in the works for next
Yes, we
October
do.
for it.
Yep.
So that I'm, playing it by ear. If I ever have my hip surgery, it would be a lot easier for me to plan things. But right now, it's just like, yeah, I'm going. No, got to put it off again. So, yeah. As of right now, I'm supposed to have hip surgery March the 5th. We shall see. Okay. When it happens, I will say, okay, I had hip surgery.
Hi, Beth. Um, that's why he loves
Hey, Beth.
GGH. Yeah. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and just turn off my phone. It's not doing anything anyway. And I need different earbuds.
Well, I gave you some nice ones, but you said it
They
interferes with
literally
Ruben's
hook to each
stuff.
other.
So,
It's awful.
oh,
Yeah.
good Lord.
Um. So, anyways, well, I mean, we can kind of say some things, but we do plan on going out to see Jonathan this year with
Mm-hmm.
Crossover Paranormal.
Yeah. That's out in North
Yep. We
Carolina.
plan on making a visit
Yeah.
out there, and that one
Mm-hmm.
sounds exciting.
I want to go to, I'd like to go to St. Louis and see
Yes.
Shaw Woman too, which we had
Yes, we
discussed
did.
that. That's not too far. It was unusual. I was going to tell her that we were talking about doing it, and I went in and she was talking about moving, and I was like, well, crap. Well, it's only about a block away, so
Yeah.
we're okay. She's moving, but yeah, I want to get out there to St. Louis and see Dina and at least spend the day if I can with her.
Yeah.
And she can spend with us. I know she's not big into nighttime investigations, and she's had some health issues like I do with walking and things. So, but I know that she would like to do something with us during the day up there, and she knows different areas and things. She got that one really great cemetery she goes to that has all the statues and all that stuff. And she knows where the true exorcist house is up there in
Is that
St. Louis.
accessible
So
though to the public, or does somebody live there?
I think someone lives there. I don't think that they do tours or anything. Now, they may have a long time ago, but I don't believe they do now.
Right.
And I don't know how far McPike Mansion is. It's actually in Illinois, but it's right over the line. I think Dina said it took her like 45 minutes. Dina, how long did it take you to go to McPike's? How far is it? People live there. No, you can't, she says.
Okay.
Can't go in. But I did see about a month ago that they took people in, and it showed pictures from them going in. So maybe it's just contacting the person that's living there and seeing if they'll, I don't know. I'll contact the group that went in.
What's the one in New York?
You remember, right, Dina? I sent the pictures to you, or I posted them on Facebook, and you made a comment about them. But no, there's a whole different. I'd love to go to Alton, Illinois. Number one, my grandmother was born there. She's the one that I'm a dreamer because of. She was a dreamer. But the whole town is haunted. And so that would be a good day spent. I mean, of course, I'd be trying to look at everything, but yeah, it would be a great time, a good place to go.
I think Andrea is talking about the cemetery, if I'm not mistaken there. Andrea is a member of our group as well.
Yeah, yeah, she's talking about that one cemetery that she had seen that Dina had went to. They had all the statues and all the stuff.
Joe was talking about the one in New York. He thinks it was the Conjuring House, is what he was talking about. I think.
No, no. Are you talking about the Exorcist house or the McPike Mansion? That's up by Illinois, over by Illinois. Now, if I go to it, it'd be like 3 hours, but I don't know what it is for Dina.
She says she loves Alton. She thinks Mineral Springs is over there somewhere, but she hears it's
Your
expensive.
audio's low to me again. Is it low to you guys or is it just me?
She said,
Okay, now you're back. Yeah, she said she likes the Belvedere Cemetery where Chuck Berry
"Oh,
is.
the Amityville Horror House is what he was talking about."
Yeah.
Yep, I forgot about that one.
That one's up by New York. I love to go, but it takes money to travel. I like to go to New Orleans, but I want to wait a while after all this stuff went on down there. But my brother lived there for quite a while. I went down there, the Andrew Jackson Hotel. It has a courtyard in it. And during the night, I heard conversations, and I went out there and I seen a mist. It looked like a couple walking, and then it just dissipated. But there was no one physically in the
Right.
courtyard. And I just knew by the way I felt and everything, it was the Andrew Jackson Hotel there. And it may not be there anymore. I don't know. It's been years since I've
If it's
been
anything
down
like
there.
Lebanon, probably not.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they'll tear stuff, a whole lot of stuff down because they wouldn't get the tourism that they do if
True.
they did.
True.
But
Oh, everybody's saying that the sound is good on them.
audio's good. Hey, Mr. Rogers. Hey.
Um, for everybody who's
Oh, it's just me. It's just me, Ruben says.
um, for everybody who's coming in kind of later or whatever, in case you didn't already know, this is our very first broadcast. So we are looking for ideas on what we could be talking about and things like that. So we will be bringing people on regularly, though, just like everybody else's, and talking to them to get to know them on a more personal level. Simply because
Have to get Brian on and get
and
John
Matt, yeah,
on.
I
Yeah.
got plans in the work for who I'm going to be inviting. Um, thinking earpiece keeps falling out. So anyway,
Duct tape.
um,
Duct tape. Yeah.
why do people think cemeteries are full of spirits? And Andrea says because energy will still remain with the body even though the sofa has left.
The sofa, huh? And
The
she comes
soul.
down
Oh,
later
there it
on and
is.
says the
Okay,
soul.
I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Her sofa is in your
Yeah,
Winnebago.
yeah.
Okay.
I was just thinking that. And for those of you who missed that, Thursday we will be talking about
Yes.
Winnebagos, 80s models specifically, not the Wendigo.
Yeah. She meant to say Wendigo and it came out Winnebago, and I didn't want to laugh at her, but I had
I
to
would have laughed at
smile.
you.
I couldn't
I
help
would have
it.
totally laughed at you. I'm like, huh. um,
But anyway, no. Steven's got a bunch of stuff already for Thursday's
okay.
show,
Yep.
and that would be interesting. You guys will get to meet Steven. He needs to kind of come out. He's an outgoing person, but he's shy at first, and then once he gets to know you, he becomes adjusted. And if you can catch him, because like we said, he moves. He checks everything out. He's our one that checks the attics and the basements, and he crawled under the house in Kendrick's house, and because they had an opening in the floor where the women and children used to go when riders would come in back during the Civil War and stuff. And Stephen went right in there.
He's our nimbly, bimbly explorer. Hmm. He gets into
Yep.
places none of us can. I
Yep.
have to say though, Andrea probably right there behind him though, because she's so little.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she is. Especially when we're outside. She's really good in cemeteries at taking pictures and keeping an eye on different pieces of equipment and what we've got going on.
Hi, John.
And when you watch video of her, she can scare the crap out of you, and some of the stuff she did. I'm getting ready to make a small video on this when we investigated the cemetery at Wendyville. And Andrea did something, and when I was watching the video, I was like, "What in the heck?" It reminded me of a scene in the Blair Witch
She just
Project.
kind of stopped.
Yeah. And then she started taking pictures, but I mean, she was sauntering along just fine, and then she just, and I'm like, "What the heck?" And then it dawned on me what she was doing and what was going on, and I will explain what's going on. We had some situations going on when we was down there, so. But yeah, no, Andrea is great, and she does really good at research. In the
A
beginning, when
historical
she
researcher.
was one of the first people that wasn't family to join
Yeah, she
Abyss,
was
was
there
Andrea.
before even Ruben and I.
Yep. Yeah. It was Jesse and then my daughter and then Andrea. That's how it went.
I don't know if you saw or not, but Jonathan
And
left.
so, oh, you leaving, John? See you later, hon.
I think he's already gone, um, but yeah, she.
Oh, he'll watch it.
Oh,
Watch.
so yeah, so Andrea, she's very good at historical research. What was that? Did you all hear that, or is it just me?
It went
Yeah.
and then yeah. And then you said whatever after it made the noise. And it's kind of
What?
strange, but hey,
Um,
yeah.
but Andrea, I'm not going in if there's spiders. She says, "No, me neither. Me neither. You can give me a bucket full of snakes. No spiders."
Yeah.
um. So, anyways, if they're still watching, Brian, I might go ahead and see about bringing you on next week if you're up for it. Just shoot me a message, okay? Let me know if you're available. 6 o'clock Central Time. We don't know, guys. uh, Central Time, uh, Monday, okay? So that you can talk a little more about what's going on in your life. Also, kind of give an update about Global Ghost Hunt. I know you had made some changes recently. I'm not sure if everybody who watches our stuff is aware of these changes that have been made. We did announce it to everybody though, so that we can try to get more involvement in it. So you can use our
Mhm.
platform if you'd like here to even announce your changes. Um, Not that we have the views like you do, but still, might be somebody that doesn't know you yet.
Mhm.
Um, and so that's the
Right.
other thing. So if you don't know about Global Ghost Hunt, it has been a phenomenal, such I don't know how to put it, like show that Brian Laverty has put together, and then he's joined in with a lot of different people, Matt Barron. And there's been some people that have kind of come in and left again, and I don't remember all of them. There's been quite a few, but
Yeah, Aaron Hoffman, Aaron worked kind of behind the scenes and put logos together and stuff like that. Yeah, there's been quite a few people that
yeah.
stepped in.
Um, but
Um,
it gives us small groups like ourselves who are not, Zach Bagans and all them a voice. It gets us to be seen, that let them know that hey, it's not all glitz and glamour out there. These We are real people who are in pursuit of more knowledge. We want to know what's out there. We
mhm,
want to know if there's anything to look forward to. A lot of people believe in heaven and hell and that sort of thing. Great, good for you. But what about those of us who are stuck in between? What is that? And
mhm.
that's what I'm always pursuing. I want to know what that is. You know, but his plat.
Yeah. Oh, Limbo.
That's and I don't like that. Um,
Yeah, I
but
know. I just had to say
But
it
yeah, so
though.
Global Ghost Hunt gave us that
Um,
that platform to be able to be seen and know that we are not alone out here. There's a lot of us. So
that's right. And it also gives an opportunity for these locations to be put out there so people know about them.
exactly.
It helps the locations, and some of them, they thrive on
Yep.
donations and the upkeep, like the
Yep.
Kendricks house. It was built in 1850, and they it's total donations and
Yep.
volunteer work, physical labor.
They're
So,
always taking proceeds
yeah,
also. Just look them up.
mhm,
You get,
yeah,
they need the money to keep restoring it. It has kind of fell to disarray a little bit, and they're still working
mhm.
on getting it back to what it was. So
Yeah, and before Global Ghost Hunt, we really didn't have a lot to put out as far as video wise because our group mainly does residential investigations and people just don't. But there is maybe certain ways I can get around certain things. It just depends on where it is we're investigating and what goes on. Um, and what I mean by that is do it where people can't
right,
recognize stuff. Take parts of the video and what have you where they don't recognize anything, or wouldn't be able to, let's put it that way. And then show it to the person or the people and get their permission to put it
exactly.
up.
But if they ask us
Um, we were
explicitly,
very fortunate with West Plains when
yeah.
they let us, because I mean, we had some
Oh my
stuff
gosh, that was like
going on.
the best investigation we've ever had, I think. As you
Yeah,
know,
well, a lot of it had to do with us freezing our yin yang off outside
it
in the
paid off.
shed. Yeah, it was terrible cold, but you know what? Under everything, once all of us got in there, and we did have a little heater, so that helped. But yeah.
Um, so actually, and I've said it before in other, um, sounds like a novel, Heaven, Hell, and Somewhere in Between. Yep. It was actually that investigation that really, um, yeah, took us out of our comfort zone and expanded our experience. That's exactly right, Ruben. Um, so, um, the West Plains investigation is actually what, kind of solidified that what I'm doing with this group is worthwhile. Because as I've always said,
Mhm.
I'm not somebody who believes in this stuff. I have to see it for it to be real, period. And the thing is
Right.
like that particular investigation, and maybe it's because I found it and nobody else did. Like Vicky saw it, but she didn't know what it was at first, and so she kind of just dismissed it. But
I thought it was a
yeah,
fly. I thought it was a fly, and I just and went
but because
on.
I saw it, I found it before anybody showed it to me or whatever. It put this thing in my head that's all like, okay, we are on to something here. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
Because
mhm,
it was real. It happened, and it happened to me. You know what I mean?
mhm.
And everybody knows exactly what scene I'm talking about because we talk about it so much because it was a fantastic capture. I don't think we could do it again if we
Right.
have to do it.
Right,
But
right, right. Well, there was no way we could debunk it.
no, I
We
mean,
just
even
think,
looking at it, when
yeah,
you visually see that, there was no way to debunk it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It was clearly a black
yeah,
mass, and the way it moved was
mhm,
was like a bird falling from the sky. Went to the window, and was like, "Oh, look, the sun's out," and it's like, whoop, whoop, boom. Nothing
yeah.
natural does
Well,
that.
when you think about it, we got quite a bit of activity there. We had running back and forth between the kitchen and the
The cat
bathroom
balls.
or the shower room with the
Yep,
cat balls, and then the video where Ruben's running the camera and I'm getting ready to work the rods, and that shadow just steps right in
yep.
between. Yeah. So we had quite a bit of activity there, in which they said they were hearing and
We were able
experiencing
to
a lot
validate
too.
everything that
So
they were experiencing.
yeah,
Which is nice too,
yeah.
because, that's the thing. You hear it all the time from people,
Mhm.
"I feel like I'm going crazy." Well, you're not going crazy. I mean,
Mhm.
there is always that possibility, and let us help you, find that out. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of times that gets lost in some of these big shows. It's not about helping
Mhm.
people. It is about ratings and the
Right.
money on all this. But we take
Mhm.
investigations. A Louise abandoned asylum near Detroit.
Near
I haven't heard of
Detroit. You're trying to get us to Michigan, aren't you? That's where
Oh,
Joe
I
lives,
see,
is
I
in
see.
Michigan.
Um,
But yeah, an asylum would be very interesting.
it'd
I
be
think it
fun.
would be. I think it'd be great.
Um,
Yeah. Can we camp in your yard, Joe?
not in the winter in Michigan?
Yeah, in the winter, forget it, bud. You can camp in the
We'll take
yard.
your
I'll
bed.
take your
Yeah.
bedroom. Okay.
Sometimes there are places around that I don't even know about. Yeah, that's all of us, man. Oh yeah, and Ruben bringing up the teddy bear again too. So that's the same place where like
Oh,
Vicky was groping the teddy bear like crazy. She thought it was so freaking hot.
yeah.
She was like, "Ooh, let me feel you, teddy bear."
Yeah, no, it was the K2 was going off, and that was the only place I'd point it and get it up on the teddy bear. And the closer I got to the teddy bear, it'd tap out, And I just knew there was a recorder or a camera or something in that teddy bear. And I went to it. And it was really heavy around its neck. So looked like I was strangling it or something. I was looking for it because I just knew that there was something in there. And then later on, it felt like something was sitting beside me next to the teddy bear. So I don't know, but there was the whole explosion and all the people that had died from the explosion there. And so there's a lot of possibilities of
Yep,
what it
exactly.
was. But yeah, yeah, I did do everything but tear the stuffing out of the teddy bear. Okay, Ruben.
I think she might have brought it home. Just saying. Just
No, I did
kidding. I'm so
not.
kidding. I'm kidding, Vicky.
No, I did not. How would I hide that thing? That thing was huge. It was a big teddy bear.
Oh yeah, I'm kidding, everyone. Literally. Um, but yeah. So we're gonna probably be getting off of here now, though, because it has been an hour, and I apologize for anybody who was anticipating watching. Getting started late. Like I said at the beginning, my computer just decided, I don't really care anymore, and just did not want me to log in, use my camera, or anything. And I did a test run on Sunday to make sure everything worked. It was fine, but after that, it
Hmm.
ran some updates. So there
Yeah.
you go.
And it just kind of, if Matt Barron would have been around online or anything, I would have said, okay, it's Matt's fault because seems like it happens. But you know what? There has been a few times that he has been like up on panel and something will happen and swear to God he hadn't touched nothing. But yeah, no. I was surprised he didn't come in. He may be working.
Right,
Who knows?
right,
But no, I think, this show will be good. It'll take us the time to get it, and you may have to adjust your hours or what have you. Just depends on. But you got to get started
right,
sometime.
right.
So
And that's what this
that's
is.
what we're doing. Yep. Yep. Actually, you started last when you was testing things out, and we already seen what happened there. So
Yeah.
now you know. It's all in
Yeah.
learning. It's all in
Keep
learning.
in mind, everybody, that you guys can message Vicky with any questions you might have or anything like that. Ideas for the show would be fantastic. So shoot them over as well. And if you would like to be on the show, by all means, reach out too. So I think that's about all I have for tonight.
I think Shaw Woman needs to come on and play the guitar and
I'm
sing
all
for
about
us.
that. Get to know her on a personal level, not the paranormal level. So it's cool with me.
Yeah. Yeah, she can play guitar. You can ask Joe. Joe's even heard her. He knows she can play guitar real good. But no, it's let people get to know you. You come into chat, and when I first started in YouTube, no one knew who me. They hadn't seen me or nothing, and I don't know. I'd been going in and out of chats for over a year. And finally, they said, Vicky, you need to make a video. And I said, well, I can't do anything. You got to have 1,000 people. And at that time, I think it was like 400. And I didn't have no content whatsoever. And next thing I know, within like 2 days, Nadina's like, oh my God, no. But the next 2 days, I was at 1,000. And so I went in for 1 minute, made a 1 minute video and said, here I am. This is what I look like. And that was it for like 6, 7 months. And then I put something in, I think is how
Right.
it went. But yeah, I was Dina's first interview when she had podcast
Gotcha.
going. Dina, I was talking about your spare pants channel that you had at one time. I don't know if you still got it or not, but We was talking about how Shasta fell in the creek, and it was on Jonathan's show is when where it was. And I said, yeah. And Dina had just started that other show or other channel called Spare Pants. We said, that's why you need it. You needed spare pants. And she fell in the creek. But
Right.
yeah, or if you had the, you know what, scared out of you while you was investigating, that's why you need spare pants.
It's
So,
still there. Spare Pants Paranormal, she says.
Spare Pants Paranormal. Yeah, okay. I didn't know if it was still around or not. Hadn't seen you really do anything with it.
So,
You ought to put your videos of the one where you was walking. I can't remember the place, but where the rivers meet, and you didn't realize how close you was to the edge of that cliff. Yeah, and then you walked over the snake holes, and Joe and I was not going to tell you that those were snake holes because we knew what would happen. So we waited till you was coming back, and then told you about the snake holes, and you was like, "Oh my god!" But yeah, no, you come close on that cliff. If she had took a step or two further, she would have went right over. She didn't realize because she's looking through the camera as
oh,
she was
right,
walking.
right. And the camera does
Yeah.
skew your like your vision, you know.
But yeah, Dina's a hoot. You need to pull her on too. Now she does readings and she made I've got some of them somewhere handy here. Got to find them. But she made them. They're what I call encouragement cards. Dina, what do you refer to them? Do you? Yeah, Joe, we was watching live, weren't we? Yeah. But she makes like tarot cards, encouragement cards and things. And I really love them. She sent me a deck of them. And but she does readings and stuff. So yeah, she's another
So
one. And she's was highly
Dina,
skeptical.
you can add me on Facebook. That
So
way we can kind of.
I don't know. She's kind of still kind of skeptical, kind of like you and Ruben,
She
you
said
know.
inspirational, motivational cards.
Inspirational motivational cards is what she calls them. Okay.
Um, so
Yeah.
Dina, I don't think we're on Facebook together, but
Yeah, if you'd fell, it'd been a different kind of live stream. That's for sure. Yeah.
go ahead and add me on Facebook.
Because it was a drop off. It was where the Missouri and the Mississippi meet, if I remember correctly. Am I right on that, Dina? That it was where they meet, the rivers meet.
Is my mic working? Can you not hear me?
Nope, I don't hear you. But that's me. It may be just me.
Can anybody else hear me? Oh, Dina can hear me.
You're breaking up to me. I don't know about anybody
Okay.
else.
Well, Dina says she can hear me, so Ruben can hear me. She said convergent point. Convergent point. Joe can hear me.
Yeah, I'm not hearing you. Maybe it's got something to do with your headphones.
They can hear me.
They can hear you. Oh, okay. Well, it's me that's not hearing you. You're breaking up. But I heard that and you went like that. So I kind of picked up on what you're saying.
Uh,
And now I'm listening, but you're not talking. So
so Dina, I don't know if you heard me, but you can add me on Facebook, and that way we can kind of set up something also because I think it'd be kind of fun to have readings done.
all I heard was
Um,
I. That's all I heard was
so
I.
if you can hear me, Dina, add me on Facebook. Brian, if you're still on, get a hold of me also, please. I don't know if Matt is watching or not. I don't think so, but Matt, you'll need to be in contact with me soon too, please. And then we'll also be bringing on like Andrea and Ruben and Jesse if he'll let me. But like I said, Steven will be on Thursday. But I think we're going to go ahead and sign off for now. And if anybody has any ideas or questions, like I said, reach out and get a hold of Vicky. You can find her on Facebook. And all right, I guess we'll see you guys on Thursday at 6 o'clock Central Time. Okay. All right. I don't know if she can hear me. So bye, guys.
We gotta do sign language.
Bye.
All right, guys. I'll talk